The following podcast will contain spoilers, tangents, hot takes, and excessive foul language. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, horror fans, and welcome to episode 340 of Frightmares. I'm your host, Austin Proctor, and joining me today for 2013's Evil Dead is John Vogt.
Hello.
I apologize if I sound like death. I am getting over whatever my kid had and then gave to my wife and then gave to me. So nice of her, because she gets better. And then we're both sick, so we're both just stuck being sick, and she's bouncing around the living room. So how are you, John? You sound tired today. I'm sick, you're tired. Two halves of a whole person. I love it.
Correct. I got a mimosa, though, so we're doing okay.
All right. Yeah. Little Sunday morning action. Well, afternoon. Whatever. Sunday. Fun times here. I'm excited for this one because... like I say every week, we were going to do this on your show, but then you just, life happened and you had to cut the show early last year, so we didn't actually get to review it. So I was like, I'm throwing it on this year and we're definitely going to do it. So, and you've also been just hyping me up with this hot take that I'm very excited for because you said you're not ready for this, and I'm like, all right, baby, let's go. So
let's see what happens.
It's going to be a fun one today. I have been trying to remember my history with this movie. I'm almost positive, much like our Halloween episode, I saw zombies before Carpenters. I'm pretty sure this is the first Evil Dead movie I saw before I went back and watched the other ones. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where it is. I might have seen this in theaters. I would have been 23. It's entirely possible. All I know is that when I saw it, it flabbergasted me. And even today, 12 years later, man, it is still standing the test of time. God bless Fede Alvarez with all those practical effects, because I really think that's why it's holding up. So what about you? Do you remember when this entered your ethos or mythos, or whatever you want to call it, of horror movie watching?
Right after it came out, like it was available on DVD or on demand or whatever it was, however long ago, and just loved it immediately. Like my mind was blown when I watched it. I was like, this is like fantastic. I was showing it to everybody I knew. I'm like, you guys got to watch this. It's so good. And it was really before I started like my hardcore horror journey, where I was really looking into like, top movies to watch this year and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think all those resources were out back then. This is 2013. So like those forums weren't really there. You still kind of had to go like word of mouth from like Frenzy or other horror friends that you knew and shit like that. So, I remember scooping this at like a local like FYE or whatever. I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but it's like a media store, right?
I still have one. Right. I still have one in my in Altamont. I still have one. It's still there. Way too expensive now though, but continue.
Oh, right. But it was cool. You could just walk in and you'd find some cool little hidden gems in there every once in a while in the horror section. Then everybody would just pass by and you'd scoop it up. High Tension. I remember getting that one way back. Right. And I still have that copy and everything. So yeah, but it was cool. But yeah, this movie, like you said, holds the test of time, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, you're right, because in 2013, Facebook I joined in like 2008, 2009, so that was like 4 or 5 years after that. We really didn't have all the stuff that we have now. I didn't even use Letterboxd or IMDb really before I watched a movie until 2019, so like 6 years ago. Now, of course, now I go through everything, and it's kind of ruined it, in like, not really ruined movie watching, but to an extent, because I'll go see what the ratings have, and then instantly in my head, I'll have an idea of what I think. So sometimes I try to just go in blind. Other times I will just look at the rating and just to get a gauge. But I never, unfortunately, I never got to grow up in a time where I could go raid the horror section of my local video store. And, like I said, as a kid growing up in a very conservative Christian home, that was not an option. So I really wish I had those experiences with just going through the horror section and picking something out just because the cover looked cool. Something I wish I could have done. But nonetheless, here we are. So we were going to talk about Evil Dead, of course, but before we do that, we got to do this, and we got to talk about what did Jason Hill make me watch this week. He made me watch a movie called Scarecrow from 2013. It should be noted that Jason is a very big Scarecrow horror movie fan. That's why we've had a couple of these this year, and I am as well, but as I'm learning as I watch more and more, there's not a solid, at least that I've seen yet, like a 4.5 star Scarecrow movie. They're all just missing something. So the summary for this is 6 high school kids come face to face with an evil entity as they serve their detention before the town's Scarecrow Festival. I think that's the theme in most Scarecrow movies is some sort of festival. It's in a small town. It's rural. It kind of has to be if there's scarecrows and cornfields and shit. Right off the bat, I noticed that Lacey Chabert, or however you say her last name, is in this. She played Gretchen in Mean Girls. Very random to be in this. I think this was a sci-fi horror movie. And also, Richard Harmon, who was most recently in Final Destination Bloodlines as Eric, is also in this. So 2 completely different actors from completely different walks of life ended up in this movie in 2013. There were some cool shots of the cornfield, and the production value was solid. Good lighting, camera work, score as well. It's extremely similar to Husk that I talked about, that Jason recommended from 2011. In the sense of people get chased out of a cornfield into a farmhouse in which they take refuge. So it was the same movie, but not as good as that one because they kind of just yada yada their way through the story and the lore of the Scarecrow. They're kind of explaining the lore as the movie goes along. And I'm just give me the lore dump of what happened so I can understand and not just keep me up to speed with facts on the spot. I don't know. The Scarecrow had a fun design, but it was completely CG, which was not fun. And it looked like a weird kind of Dementor, made out of, I don't know, straw or something. I don't know. It was a very bizarre looking Scarecrow. If it comes down to CG or practical effects for a Scarecrow, just do the practical effects. The wildest part for me, though, was the fact that where the Scarecrow resides was part of a family for 150 years. And I was like, how have they never run into this before? Oh, because they explained later that they buried the Scarecrow 100 years ago. Yeah, that would have been information to tell me up front, because now I'm confused of how no one has run into this thing. And the only way to kill this thing, by the way, is to bury it, which is very weird because multiple times in the movie it pops out of the ground. So it's contradicting its own lore in a way. It's a very strange movie. And then for some reason, the ending of the movie is on a boat. So there you go, on a big big ship. Very strange movie. And by the end of it, I remember halfway through, I was like, yeah, it's not that bad. This is fun. And then it ended, and I was like, no, that was bad. It was not it was not a good movie. I was kind of enjoying it until that ending happened, and then it just ended. I was like, alrighty then. So it has a 2.2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Jason gave it a 1.5 out of 5, and his review is, shitty video game effects or a guy in a Scarecrow suit, you should always choose the guy in the suit every time. I gave it a 2 out of 5, because like I said, it's kind of just like Husk and not as good. Although, Lacey Chabert, she was in it, so good for her. It's streaming on Tubi. If you'd like to check it out, I would recommend just checking out Husk. Because is that a great movie? No. Is it better than this? Absolutely, because I think I gave that one a 3 or something like that. So, I don't know. One of my favorite movies of Scarecrows is I think there's 2. It's either Night of the Scarecrow or Dark Night of the Scarecrow. One of those. That one's fun. And then the little bit from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark with Harold, that's a great little segment too. I wish they were able to make that into a full thing, but really it came from a short story. So anyways, That is Scarecrow. There's a lot of movies called Scarecrow, so you got to look for the one from 2013. So make sure you find the right one if you go check it out. And it's on Tubi, so there you go.
Jason says, check it out. You'll probably hate it.
I was more confused than actual, vehement hatred towards this movie. So that's just me. Let's talk about some highest grossing movies and Oscar winners. The highest grossing movie of 2013 is Frozen. $1.29 billion. Highest grossing horror movie of the year, The Conjuring, $320.4 million. And crazy enough, that movie, the fourth movie right now, is breaking records for highest grossing box office in a weekend. It beat out It Chapter 1. So I think it's at almost $500 million for The Conjuring last rites, making some fucking money. Every single Conjuring movie has made hundreds of millions of dollars. So I mean, hey, you know what? Yeah. Good for them. This is the 86th Academy Awards presented on Monday, March 2nd, 2014, honoring movies released in 2013. Best Actor goes to Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club. Actor in a supporting role, Jared Leto for Dallas Buyers Club. I guess I got to see that one. Best Actress goes to Cate Blanchett for Blue Jasmine. Actress in a supporting role goes to Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave. Gravity sweeps the last half here. Cinematography, Emmanuel Lubezki, Gravity. Director, Alfonso Cuarón, Gravity. Musical score, Stephen Price, Gravity. Holy shit, I didn't realize Gravity won so many Oscars. And then Best Picture is 12 Years a Slave. I had never seen this. I knew what it was about, and I was not excited to watch it because I knew it was going to be a very tough watch, and I was indeed dead on accurate. Summary is, in the antebellum United States, Solomon Northup, a free black man from upstate New York, is abducted and sold into slavery. It starts almost immediately with his abduction. The second these two white guys were talking to him, I was like, this is not going to end well for you. They're being, I know the times of this movie, and they're being way too friendly.
Right.
But, he's a free man, so he kind of didn't expect this to happen. This movie made me violently angry, and not in the sense of, oh god, it was so bad, but just the fact that this section of American history is fucking despicable. I hate it so much. I will never understand where white people got off doing this to an entire race of people. I fucking hate it. So it made me violently angry on behalf of African Americans. The story, though, is very powerful. Seeing where Solomon came from to why he got thrown into this situation, and then seeing him, come out the other side. It's very bleak. It's very much akin to Schindler's List, because it is a group of people being persecuted, I guess, if that's the right word, just for who they are. It's very akin to that. It's not as graphically violent as Schindler's List, because they're not, for the most part, the slaves are not being killed unless they misbehave or whatever the owners think is reason to kill them, because Schindler's List was very graphic. Oh my god. So this one's not as graphic, but it's still just as powerful. It's hard to watch, but it's incredibly important because this is something that people need to know about, so we never go back to times like this, because this is a horrible time in America's past. And it just makes me hate white people. I hate white people. We're the worst. I can't stand being associated with people that have done this. That's why I always will fight for anyone who does not have my privilege that I just happen to be born with. So yeah, great movie, great performances, great score too. There's also a killer cast. Michael Fassbender is in this. Brad Pitt shows up at one point. Lupita Nyong'o. The main actor, I did not recognize right off the cuff because I didn't think I had seen him in anything. Yeah, his name is Chiwetel Ejiofor, if I'm saying that correctly. It's a tough one. But he's been in a few things, some Marvel movies. He was in Doctor Strange as Mordo. He was in, and then the sequel as well. So I've seen him in things, but I just didn't recognize him. He was fantastic. It's a great movie, but just be prepared. It is a tough watch. Rating of a 4.2 out of 5. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. My review is hating someone just because they aren't the same skin tone as you is insane. Fuck racism. And it is not streaming anywhere, unfortunately. Thank you, Spencer's Voodoo. Love you, Spencer. You're the best. So just buy that movie, honestly, if you're going to watch it. You're not going to be upset that you bought this movie. All right, you say we do this. Let's say we do this IMDb roundup and get on to the movie.
Sounds good.
Whip Crack. Evil Dead from 2013, released on April 5th of that year in the U.S. Rated R for, so much. Strong, bloody violence and gore. Everything. Some sexual content and language. Funny enough, there is only mild sex and nudity. I say funny enough just because, this is a very hard R rating. Very.
And the hard R.
Fuck me.
After we just talked about... Yeah, hard R rating. Gotcha.
Perfect. I love what I've done for myself here. This is what do you say? What is the right way to say that? The most violent R? God damn it. Fucking phrasing. Way to go, Austin. Anyways, back on track. Mild sex and nudity, severe violence and gore, severe profanity, mild alcohol, drugs, and smoking, and severe frightening and intense scenes. There are 2 versions of this movie. One with a runtime of 1 hour and 31 minutes. That is the theatrical release. And 2 would be the director's cut or unrated cut, whatever you want to call it. 1 hour and 36 minutes. Listed as a straight horror. That is it. Nothing else. Directed by Fede Alvarez, who also directed Don't Breathe and Alien Romulus, also written by the same man. He wrote Don't Breathe 1 and 2. He also wrote the Texas Chainsaw from 2022 and Alien Romulus. Then we have Rodo Sayagas, who is kind of like Fede's partner in crime. He wrote everything that I just mentioned for Fede. Composed by Roque Banos, who also composed The Machinist, Don't Breathe 1 and 2, and His House. Cinematography by Aaron Morton, who also did the cinematography for No One Will Save You, The First Omen, and Abigail. Edited by Brian Shaw, who also edited 9 episodes of Ash vs. Evil Dead, and Ash from 2025. Starring Jane Levy as Mia, who was also in Don't Breathe as Rocky. We've got Shiloh Fernandez as David, who was also in Red Riding Hood as Peter. Lou Taylor Pucci as Eric. He was in 5 episodes of American Horror Story 1984 as Jonas Chavor. Jessica Lucas as Olivia. She was in Cloverfield as Lily. And Elizabeth Blackmore as Natalie. She was in 16 episodes of The Vampire Diaries as Valerie Touye. Estimated budget of $17 million. Crazy. Worldwide box office gross of $97.5 million. Filmed in Auckland, New Zealand, if I'm saying that correct. You can watch this on Tubi and Hulu. Movies that came out around the same time. We have Oz the Great and Powerful, The Call, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone, The Croods, Olympus Has Fallen, Spring Breakers, G.I. Joe Retaliation, Scary Movie 5, Pain and Gain, and Iron Man 3. Not a lot of great movies, honestly. Croods, Olympus Has Fallen, Scary Movie 5, not really. IMDb summary: 5 friends head to a remote cabin where the discovery of a Book of the Dead leads them to unwittingly summon up demons living in the nearby woods. This is Evil Dead? Just Evil Dead? Yeah. This is Evil Dead sans the...
David. Please. Please. You have to get me out of here.
Leave this book alone.
No. You don't understand. There was something in the woods. And I think it's in here with us now.
You are all going to die tonight.
I read a passage from that book. I released some evil. Oh my God! What did you do that?
We're gonna get you, not another pee. Time to go to sleep.
So, John, overall thoughts on Evil Dead with no the. What do you got?
This is the greatest horror movie ever made.
Oh, interesting. Hot take right off the bat. I love it. I love burying the lead. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. I mean,
I'll present my case and then I'll let you jump in if you see anything or disagree with anything.
Okay.
It has everything you could want, right? It is generally unsettling without being cheesy or predictable. The gore is absolutely top tier. Great practical effects. My phone shut off. There we go. Both subtle and not so subtle. Homage is paid to the original. The acting is as good as it needs to be to carry a movie like this. The kills are and overall violence, I guess, in the film are just fantastic. Are there scarier movies? Yes, possibly. Are there gorier movies out there? Few and far between.
Yeah,
but Fede Alvarez takes both of these and puts them in one movie, right? Like he really combines two genres that don't tend to be one or the other. You know what I mean? Like you'll have your scary movies and then you'll have your gore movies, but rarely are they together at a level like this. So you just don't see that combination done this well very often. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. I don't watch it that often because I do really enjoy it, and I just every time I watch it, probably once a year or so, I'll pick out something new that dorks me out or whatever. I just pick out a new detail that I love. But yeah, man, I just really think that this is as good as it gets. It has something for everybody if you're a horror fan. So any disagreements or agreements? What are you thinking?
No. So, okay. I guess one disagreement, because my overall thoughts are this is one of the greatest horror remakes, if not the greatest horror remake of all time, that pays homage to the original while doing its own thing and updating the story for modern audiences. So it's weird because a lot of my 4.5-star movies or like 5-star, it's weird. So like sometimes when I rate movies, they might not be a full 5, but I think they are like, this would be on like a top 10 list for me, easily, no problem, of all time. I 100% agree with it. Literally is scary enough to please scary horror movie fans. It's gory enough for sure to please those fans. The only thing really that it doesn't have, but horror doesn't necessarily need comedy, is it doesn't have any comedy. They played it straight because that is they're doing something different than the originals, because the originals are very campy, they're very silly, they're very over the top. This is over the top in a whole different way.
Correct.
And that's the thing. When we get to hot takes, because mine is kind of, I know one of mine is extremely hot for sure, and because I know no one agrees with that one, but for some reason, I just it'll make sense when I explain it. But really, I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. I don't necessarily know if it's the best one ever made, but I mean, for me, it's an easy top 10, if not top 5. I do think this is truly one of the greatest horror movies that has ever been made. So I'm pretty much right there with you, and it does have some pretty good ratings, but. There are those just diehard elitists out there that, nothing will ever be better than the original. Right. I don't know. It's a weird area to be in because, like, yes, I love what the originals did. I think they are great, but it's possible for something to come along and do it better. Like, that is a very big possibility. Updating things for modern audiences. It's a thing. So, like, this for me is just literally like this might be the greatest horror remake, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it. Because I mean, obviously The Thing, amazing. The Fly, amazing. I don't know. There's just something about
Rob Zombie Halloween.
Like there's a lot of good ones out there, but this one is just so goddamn good. And just like you, I try to watch it, maybe once a year, if not, every couple years, just because I don't want the value to be like drained out of it if I overdo it with some movies. So. And it's interesting because some of my ratings within this franchise might change as we talk about this, because I've talked about all the Evil Dead movies last year in May. The only ones we have left are this one and Evil Dead Rise. So, let's talk. Did you have anything else before we hopped in here that you wanted to say?
Yeah, I guess it kind of it depends on what you watch Evil Dead for, right? Are you watching it for the campy aspect of it and Bruce Campbell and whatever goofy shit happens, or are you watching this to be scared? Right. So if they had changed the name of this, if this had just been like The Book of the Dead and it was its own standalone film and had no correlation with the the Evil Dead franchise, I think maybe the elitists would like it a little more, or they'd say maybe it was a little bit of a ripoff. But and like you said, there's just some people you can't please, and same thing with the Halloween fans and the Friday the 13th. That classic horror cult, or whatever you want to call them, or they just like defend it. That it's always better back then. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
not always.
Not
like
always.
We're very thankful. Yeah, we're thankful for that stuff. We wouldn't be here without it. But yeah, you got to recognize the game here, and this is just such a good movie, man.
No, you're totally right, because what do you want from an Evil Dead movie? Do you want some silly goofiness? Then you definitely want to watch the old one. It might be the fact that the tone of this movie is just not what people wanted from an Evil Dead movie, and that's fine. I get it. But this is the problem of people. This is the problem within the horror community, where it's like, do something different with a franchise, get crucified. Do the same thing, get crucified. Like, there's no winning with remakes sometimes, because you're pleasing one half of the crowd by doing something different, or kind of giving you the same thing you've already gotten. And that's why I like this one so much. They don't even reference the book as the Necronomicon. They don't really, they're not called Deadites in any part of this movie. They just are coming back from the dead. So they are able to give you an Evil Dead movie without saying, oh, look, the Necronomicon, check it out right there. He opens it up. We know what it is. They don't need to explain it. So, yeah, I'm totally with you. So let's get into opening scene, because truly one of the greatest cold opens just in the horror genre. You're extremely concerned for this girl right off the bat, as you would be jumping into a movie where a frightened girl is being chased down by men with shotguns and then, bapped in the face with the butt end of one. And then you just get a violent, almost whiplash to, oh shit, she is possessed. Okay, got it. So now I'm on their side. I totally understand. And then lit on fire, shotgun to the face, bro, this movie just grabs you and just violently shakes you for the whole runtime, really. Kind of just waterboards you for the first 6 minutes of that movie, where you're like, Jesus Christ. So incredible opening. And then I love the text with the high-pitched strings and violins when it shows Evil Dead. It's got this operatic orchestra behind it. You're like, I'm in. If that doesn't reel you in that beginning, then it's one of those movies where if the beginning doesn't reel you in, you might as well just not watch it, because that is kind of and that's what I love about movies like this, is they give you that opening, be like, this is what we're doing for the rest of the movie. So if this isn't your thing, now's your time to tap out. So yeah, so I love that one. And the transition too, from her being like, oh, well, Dad, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'll rip your soul out. And you're like, what? And then she swings her head down, and she's got the fucking eyes in, and all the lighting change. She's like, I'll rip your soul out, and lights on fire. Oh, so good. So that's the opening. It really does give you a taste for what's to come. I'd like to go into what worked. I'll kick it to you for some things, and then I'll just, because I know you're very excited. And we also said it's last time I said I'm going to throw it to you first, so that way I don't say something, during the kills or the horror moments. So what are some things you'd like to highlight here that worked for you in this movie? Obviously everything worked. So.
Right. Yeah. What the hell is that noise?
I was going to say, is there a bird in here? Is there a bird in here? Is it your chair?
No, it's like a machine, but I don't have anything beeping. I don't know what the fuck's going on. What the fuck is that? What is happening? I don't know if I'm rolling over a kid's toy or something, or what.
Oh, God.
I swear we're not recording from a hospital bed. I don't know what's happening. Sorry about that. Fine. I thought it was you for a second, and then I hear it. I'm like, maybe it's me.
Hold on.
I don't know. We're really good at this. We're very professional. We're very on top of it.
I don't think it's me.
It's probably me. I hear it here. I think it's me.
Okay.
Anyway, what did we like about the movie? Everything. I love the set. I thought it was really well put together. It doesn't feel generic or over the top. It's really unsettling though. It's really just that basement is just, oh dude, I don't want to go down there. I don't want to go down there. I'm a grown ass man. I don't want to go down there. And just the lighting and everything they use throughout to kind of just make everything a little creepier. So good. I like the premise, right? How they got them out into the woods. You know, you're doing something for someone to try to help them out, get them off of the drugs or whatever she was on. The camera work is really awesome. It's very fun. There's some really cool shots and angles and how they, like I said, there's some of the homage paid there. Foreshadowing of the kills. I thought they did a really good job there. The over the top grossness of some of the shit you see here. Like when she's vomiting directly into her friend's mouth, like they just take the next step, and scenes, and it really catches you off guard. So even when you think they're like, okay, they're probably not going to get any more gross than that, and then it does, right? There's that. I'll never look at that like meat saw. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
like
the electric like meat trimmer or whatever.
Yeah, I'll never look at one of those the same again because I know it's stuck in my fucking head.
Horrifying.
One of the best visuals in this movie, I thought, was at the end when she's getting buried and that plastic bag is visibly going in and out of her mouth and everything. And like, I don't know how you fake that. I don't know how you don't have a panic attack trying to do that as an actress, but like that scene was just like so visceral, man. It was like awesome.
And she's like, why do you hate me? And you're like, oh God, what's happening? It's the demon fucking with you. Don't buy into it.
And for him to just commit and just keep going.
Right.
Great misdirection at the end, like nice little curveball. Really thought that like, you thought it was going to end at some point and then it didn't. There's like that extra couple minutes. And then that's when you find out why it's the goriest movie ever made. So I think, I don't think you can top this movie. I really don't. They tried and they failed miserably with Evil Dead Rise. That movie was such a dud for me. This was, I know, I'm going to piss people off with that. That's fine. We'll get over it.
Don't worry. You're going to get both ends of the spectrum from John and then from me. Don't worry, everybody. Someone will be happy by the end of the show.
Yeah, man, there's so much to talk about in this movie. I hope I didn't take anything away from you.
No, I've got plenty. Like I mentioned, let's start with a couple things you said. Yes, the cellar. I think this is one of the worst cellars in any movie ever because of all of the dead shit hanging around. 100% no. There's animals, there's dead things, there's also fucking like water for some reason. There's an area of this cellar that's just water. No thanks, I'm good. And then the misdirect at the end, absolutely one of my favorite things in horror movies when you're like, all right, we saved the day, everything's good, and then psych, just kidding, we're back in the thick of it. So yeah, two of those things I had to mention. But talking about what I had mentioned earlier with the two different cuts, the unrated version does add a little bit extra character development, brand new scenes, extended scenes of extended gore scenes that are already in the movie, and like where it stays on a graphic scene instead of cutting away. So it is this. I don't know. Have you seen the unrated cut of this?
I think I have.
Okay. Because if you haven't, I have an extra copy that I will send you because it's not like it's extremely noticeable, but when you watch it, you're like, oh yeah, there's like even more blood I didn't think was possible. So
yeah,
it's definitely the superior cut. One of the things you mentioned that you touched on is how they got out there. I like that because, the first couple Evil Dead movies, it's just going to the cabin. And it's not like I need a reason for them to be out there, but adding the extra layer of someone battling an addiction and going there to kind of, stop cold turkey. I relate to that. Obviously, it wasn't hard drugs for me. It was alcohol. So I relate to that on that level of like, addiction is addiction once you've been on that side of things. So it gave them a solid reason for being away from everything. And I like that. It was like, it's a small touch, It's a Cabin in the Woods movie. I love Cabin in the Woods movies. They're isolated. It's scary. Fuck the woods. I don't want to be in the woods in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night. I also love how the woods look when, they're not out there a lot. But there are some scenes where it's very foggy and misty and everything just looks dark and foreboding. It's just the production value on this is so great. Because, at the end of the day, it is a big budget Hollywood studio horror movie, but it doesn't really feel like it because of how graphic and over the top it is. But it shows in like the camera work, the lighting, all of the stuff that you need for a big budget horror movie is there, but it still kind of feels like it still weirdly feels like a B movie somehow. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But
I think the money was spent like exactly the way it needed to be spent. Like they put it in the right places. They didn't go get some like huge A-list actor to be like the lead role in this because they didn't need it, right? They just put it and all the fake blood that they bought.
Right. Yeah, you don't really need a draw to the theater when you have a name like Evil Dead. And I mean, this was the first movie in the franchise since Army of Darkness in 1992. So we're talking 21 years since we've had one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't need any big name actors. And that's what I love about horror is you don't really need these huge stars to have a impactful movie, which is what I love. Like Jane Levy, she's definitely been in a few things, you know, in the horror genre, but you didn't really need big names because everything about this movie is why we're here. Even the acting though too is great. Jane Levy as Mia is incredible. She crushed that role because she had to play kind of two sides, actually three sides really, because she played the normal Mia that we met, then the one that's like, fuck this, I gotta get out of here, then the possessed Mia. Oh, and then I guess the normal Mia. So she played like 4 different sides of Mia. Like, what? Okay.
Yeah, there's some range. Yeah, definitely some range there.
Like, all right, James McAvoy in Split. I see you. I see you. Oh yeah, the foreshadowing moments that you mentioned, I wanted to touch on too, because the nail gun from David and then the electric meat trimmer. It's just those nice little touches. You're like, oh, you don't think about it at the time. You're like, oh, he's just fixing a door, no problem. You don't realize that later in the movie, like 4 people are gonna get shot at multiple times. And then someone's going to cut off their arm in the most brutal fashion I have ever seen. I swear there was probably someone down there with just like a gallon milk jug just crushing it and like spraying blood everywhere. Probably just like some hose or something, like a fucking fire hose. Oh my God, it's so great. Something else that really, not even about how the movie was made, but the pacing on this movie is incredible. This has some of the best pacing of, like, you know, you've got the cold open, you have enough exposition to establish some sort of a connection to at least one character. And then 20 minutes in, boom, camera's rolling over the hills, comes right up to Mia, she's possessed. Then you go back and forth between the cell, and the movie is all over that cabin, all over the exterior part of the cabin in the woods. I think the pacing is something that, especially for horror movies, pacing is very important. And
absolutely,
every kill, every gore effect just seems to intensify the more the movie goes. And then at the end, it's literally raining blood. I mean, that's fucking metal. A ending scene where someone is jamming a chainsaw into someone else's face while it's raining blood and a cabin is on fire is one of the most one of the most metal scenes in a horror movie. It's so good. So what is interesting about the story, about the addiction side of it, is that at first the possession was really labeled like, oh, she's just tweaking, man. She doesn't have drugs. She's just not feeling good. No one really thought she was possessed because of the withdrawals, which, again, smart touch. Smart touch. You go through those moments. Of course, you know, I'd say... At a certain point, you have to realize it's something else. Fucking Eric. Can we talk about? I don't. This is a dislike. We might as well just talk about. He'll come up. Yeah, I was gonna say. He'll come up. We got to talk about that fuckwad. Good Lord. He's one of my least favorite characters. So it's really cool too, because in the original Evil Deads, you do see some of the book, like it's there, but really. It's not. It has been a year or so since I've seen them, but I don't remember it playing a part throughout most of the movie. In this it's almost like a guidebook walking you through possession, how to get over the possession. You see a lot of images from the book in this movie, so it plays a much bigger role, which I enjoy. I can't really remember, but I know they use it. I know they use it a lot in this one, which is cool. And again, they don't call it the Necronomicon. It's just a book made of human skin wrapped in plastic and barbed wire that white boy decides to open. Again, white people are the worst, harkening back to earlier in the episode. Fucking white people are the worst. One of the reviews I read was like, see, this is why you need a more diverse cast, referencing like this. like I agree. This would not have happened. Obviously, we mentioned this too. It's got so much more of a serious tone compared to the original movies. It's an easy change, but I think we can both agree it was something to do that was different, but not different enough to be considered like, well, this isn't an Evil Dead movie. It's just a serious Evil Dead movie. I mean, there's no I don't have any problem with that. I'm totally okay with that because, like you said, What mood are you in? Do you want to watch goofy Bruce Campbell? Yes. Let's go watch an original Evil Dead. Do you want to watch the most intense 90 minutes in your entire life? Yeah, let's do that too. Probably why I don't watch this as much, because it's so fucking intense. It's like you have to be like in a mood, or hey, doing a podcast. So
right.
And I hadn't seen it since last year anyways. And this for the first time, usually I'll go through like every movie in a franchise. This time I just dove right into this, and I was like, yeah. It was nice to not be comparing it to the other two, because I didn't watch the other two. I just dove right into this one, which usually, like I said, is not what I do. And we were gonna do this like last week. So when did you rewatch it again, or did you just do the one time?
Nope.
Okay, so you didn't even break your rule of just trying. Yeah, I love that. So with the most serious tone, we also need to thank Fede Alvarez and Rodo Sayagas for that, because without them, this movie, and that's a crazy part of this movie. If this went to anybody else, what do you think we would have got? Like I don't know. It's hard to say who could have done this the same way, because Fede has not really done a lot of movies, but the movies he has done are fucking incredible. So it's like, I can't name another director that would have done something similar with this amount of gore. Do they exist? I'm sure they exist, but I can't, right off the top of my head, I can't think of one that quickly.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Fede was the right choice, because we get a comical, I mean, it is almost a comical amount of blood. It's insane. This horror movie, in the trivia, I'll tell you how many gallons it had, but it is the horror movie that apparently has used the most fake blood in a movie ever, which is crazy. And
by a lot. I looked up the Terrifier movies, and it's like miles ahead of any of them. It's like more than all of them combined.
It's kind of crazy how much they used, and I just don't think it would have hit the same. I mean, of course it wouldn't have hit the same if we had cheap CG effects. There's no way. And there are a couple that are peppered in there, but because there's kind of no way to do it without CG effects. But I think Fede said about 90% of this is practical effects, which in 2013 is a wild thing to do, because I mean, at that point, CG is very prevalent in horror movies. They're using it, and they're using it sometimes well, sometimes not. But this franchise almost demands things to be practical. Like that's how they were in the 80s, and yes, that's how things were. But that's kind of how it happened. Coming to think of it, that's what happened with the Friday the 13th movie. There was a lot of practical effects in that. Rob Zombie as well. So a lot of the remakes that they've made for horror that have been good have been practical effects. Look at Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. Not only because the guy who played, no offense to him personally, but it was just not a good Freddy, but there was a lot of CG in that movie. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, of course, practical effects are going to reign supreme, but I'm just thinking about it now. Like, yeah, most of the remakes that were Rob Zombie's it was successful to me. But most of the movies that have done practical effects, if they're in the same franchise, have done pretty well. And even this is one of like the highest rated horror remakes. It's got like a 3.2 or 3.3 or something like that. That's pretty high for a beloved franchise to come in and do a remake and get those kind of ratings. So,
right.
I had a couple more things here. Is there anything else you wanted to hit specifically about the movie? I've got like two more things.
Are we going down to dislikes or anything?
Well, I mean, I don't even, we can, yeah. So I'll say the two other things that I had, and then we'll go to, I have a couple things that like, didn't work, but they're not anything that's like, it's nothing crazy. So I do love David's determination to stop all the insanity and save his sister. I think that was great. Instead of like, because he's about to light everything on fire, and then she starts singing that song that their mother sang to them when they were kids, and I was like, don't let that demon fool you. But he opens the door and tries to do the killing and then reviving instead of just lighting everything on fire. That was such a cool moment in the movie where it really had that. They have like, that's my sister. I have got to try everything I can, even if it kills me. So that was an incredible moment. And then the ending, like you said, Mia comes back to life. Everything is hunky dory, and then bam, fucking Eric comes back. God damn fucking Eric. Fucking piece of shit Eric comes back and fucks everything up yet again. So I have three things that didn't work. Naming the dog Grandpa. I fucking hate that. Is it a reference I'm not getting? I don't know.
I don't know.
I fucking hate it. Like, come here, Grandpa. Dumb name. Tree rape. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
I get it. It was in the originals, but that's the one thing that Evil Dead Rise did not include. They had a similar scene where she was in the elevator and stuff, but like actually no tree rape. Thank you for that. So yeah, not a fan of the tree rape. And then they killed the goddamn dog. What the fuck, man? You name this dog a horrible name and then you kill it.
Yeah.
God,
that's why.
But I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, those are my complaints. So, do you have anything that didn't work for you?
Not really. I don't think there's anything really to dislike here. I think the only thing this horror movie is lacking is some sort of like unnecessary nudity. There's like no weird shower scene that's just like plugged in there for horror's sake, because that just happens so much in the genre.
Right.
But that I mean, then obviously would have something for everybody. But no, I don't really have anything. Yeah,
I mean, really, the only thing this movie is missing as a horror movie, and there are some lighter moments, between the cast at the beginning. But there's no real comedy and there's no real nudity. And I feel like that's true to the genre, though, because really there's not. The only nudity really is like Evil Dead 2, but it's like a naked skeleton that's dancing, so it's not really nudity. There's really not a lot of nudity in that franchise. So I think they were just kind of keeping true to the franchise. But if there was any amount of nudity, this would be NC-17 so fast. So
yeah, you're probably right. Maybe that's why.
I was gonna say that's probably why there's like not really, there's like no nudity, because there's so much blood. So there you go. That's the quickest I think dislikes we've ever had. So here's my hot take. I have like 3 of them. I mean, you've already said this. This is better than the 3 originals. That's an easy one. Army of Darkness is my least favorite in the Evil Dead universe. That's a hot take if you're like a core Evil Dead movie lover from the originals. Like, people love Army of Darkness. Not a fan of it.
Oh yeah,
not a fan. And this one is the one that is, I don't know, this one's probably going to piss people off. Evil Dead Rise is my favorite, and I will break down my reasons as to why.
I just remembered I was busy. I have to go somewhere. I have to leave.
See, I didn't judge you with your hot takes. So I know. Let's go. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that do not like Evil Dead Rise. So
God, it sucks so bad.
I know.
I hated that movie. Go ahead. I'm ready.
This is why I love the genre. So, one, different location. I didn't think it was possible to do an Evil Dead style movie at any other place than a cabin in the woods. They successfully pulled it off in a high-rise complex. That is impressive to me. What?
Nope. You said successfully.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. They, in my eyes, successfully pulled it off in a apartment style setting, which is fucking ludicrous. The Necronomicon is not only a book in this movie, but it is also it came with this vinyl record that they are explaining the process, very much a la Evil Dead, I guess 1 and 2, but I think 2 is where they really go into the recordings more. So that's very reminiscent of that. There are like a couple campy moments, at least from my point of view, that I was like, I chuckled. I was like, that's goofy as fuck, which reminded me of the originals. I did have my big problem though, was there were 2 scenes that were, and this is why I hate watching trailers. There were 2, the cheese grater and the tattoo gun were very underwhelming. And I was like, this is why I hate trailers, because if I didn't even know that they were there, I wouldn't have had any expectations.
Dude, the cheese grater had its own poster.
Yeah, exactly.
For the release of the movie. So you're like, this is going to be some insane, and she just gets like the back of her calf itched.
Right.
Like,
so not a fan of that. I love the demonic voices in that one. Someone swallowing glass will stay with me literally for the rest of my life. And the ending parking garage scene with, I don't want to spoil that movie, but there is some sort of monster, was fucking insane. It's reminiscent of Evil Dead 2013 because there's a chainsaw and there is kind of a raining blood moment. And then also the family. For some reason, most people did not like the family. I fucking loved the family and connected with them so instantly. Especially the little girl, she was hilarious with Staffina, the little thing she had. I don't know. It was just something I didn't, and it's probably because I went into that being like, this will be fun. But then for me, it just exceeded every expectation. And that movie for me is, when it comes to, and it's funny too, because I would watch Evil Dead Rise over this one, but for some reason it's because I don't want to ruin the magic of the 2013 one.
Gotcha.
But like I weirdly find some comfort in Evil Dead Rise. I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing. I find comfort in the most fucked up horror movies. I find comfort in Candyman 2020, As Above, So Below, The Invisible Man, Hellraiser remake, and that. For some reason, I find comfort in them, and I don't know why. So that's the little extra bit for me that really, really works. So those are my three. Hooked, right off immediately, the second she goes from normal-looking girl to demon, yeah, got my attention. I'm in.
Same.
Never lost, of course. There's no time to be lost. You are, again, you're violently shaken for 90 minutes and you don't have you don't have time. Horror moment going to you. I've got a couple, it was hard to pick. So I grabbed a couple, but I want to hear you first so I don't say something that you might have written down. So go.
There's so many to choose from here, honestly. But when the girl gets sucked into the basement and is trapped down there with Mia, like that whole like interaction between those two and the fucking razor blade scene, and then kissing her after all that, like, dude, it's just that's a rough scene to watch on the steps, like just that helplessness of being trapped down there with you don't know what the fuck it is, and then dude, that was a rough one there. Yeah.
I think that's the one time I have to, because that scene is extended in the unrated cut when she cuts her tongue. I'm pretty sure they don't cut away until she has cut her tongue and split it, and then they cut away.
Well, yeah, it starts moving back and forth and shit, right?
When it starts moving, I'm like, that's my limit. That's my limit.
Yeah.
And people will do that in real life, split their tongue. I'm like, nope, that's unnatural, and I don't like that. So interesting. So I didn't write down any of those. Did you have any more? I mean,
no, that was the big horror moment. Honestly, there's so many to choose from, but that was like my favorite, and it's just, that would get to me so fucking bad. Just being trapped down there. Like, I don't like basements. I don't think anybody does. Knowing that thing's down there and it's doing that shit right in front of you, just like,
And I like that your horror moment is the actual feeling of being in that position. Like, I would be horrified in that position when there's no escaping. Yeah, I like that. So horror moment for me, this is like a whole scene for me. It's when Eric finds Olivia cutting her face. It starts with the cutting of the face. She turns around and the skin is just peeling down. And of course, there was some CG there, but yeah.
It looked good though. It looked really good.
Well, because I think the only thing they did was, because they had the actual skin hanging down, but I think the only thing that was CG was being able to see the inside of her mouth.
I was wondering how they did that, because I have like a Blu-ray version that I was watching, so it wasn't like I was just streaming it and I had bad quality or anything. And I was wondering, I'm like, man, how did they do that? That looks really good.
It looks really good. So it starts with that, and then she jumps on top of him, stabs him with a piece of broken glass. And then
this is
with the syringe in the eyeball, and then he puts up his hand and then stabs him through the hand, and I'm like, oh my god.
Then he has to pull it out, like, dude.
Yeah, then he pulls it out of his eye and then pushes her back. She hits her head on like the fucking tile. And then
that one is so rough because, like, we don't know what it's like to get stabbed in the eye with like a fucking piece of broken glass or something, but we know what a flu shot feels like, right? So imagine getting like 90 flu shots right in your eyeball or like in your hand and everything. Like that scene is so rough, dude. That was almost my horror moment.
Yeah, it's hard. And she gets knocked back, but then crawls towards him, and then he bashes her face in with the toilet lid. Whew, it's oh my god.
Like, and then everybody comes in after.
Yeah, it's like, she was attacking me. Like, okay, sure, Eric.
Yeah, okay.
A close second, though, is the cutting off the arm, not only because it is just a goopy goodness of blood, but it's also homage to when Ash cuts his hand off. So that's fun. And then Like, the best kind of jump scary thing that happens is when David's in the basement in the water and then Mia just like floats across. I always forget about that moment, and every time I'm like, no. So there's so many fucking good things in this movie. Favorite kill? What do you got?
Chainsaw kill. Like, it's I know it's the lazy one, I know, but like, dude, that one just like when you think the movie, like, it's so good up until that point, it gives you everything. And you're like, how can we end this? How can we top it? Oh, that's how. Yeah. And that's it. That's it. I mean, it's perfect. It's so much. It's so over the top. It's so fucking awesome.
It's like Tarantino's Kill Bill when someone cuts an arm off and just like a fire hose of blood shoots out. It's so good. But again, too, it's also got a backdrop of a burning cabin and it's raining blood. It is impossible. It's impossible to top that kill. Yeah. So that's mine as well. I do love the scene, though, that leads up to that when she goes into the shed to get the chainsaw. I love that scene. They somehow made a fucking 8x8 shed terrifying because the thing comes out of the ground and she goes back behind. She's like in some weird crawl space back there. I'm like, what is happening? And then she busts out the back, plus the machete going through the wood and getting her. Oh, so good, dude. Favorite character for me is Mia. I just have that connection with how hard kicking an addiction is. And it would suck to go out there to do that and then get fucking possessed. Like, fuck me for trying to better myself, trying to not be addicted to shit. Here we go. But I mean, I guess positive side, she'll never do drugs again. I would hope.
yeah, that'll leave. Yeah, what if that was just a bad trip? Like, what if she woke up? You know what I mean? I'm just kidding.
It was all a dream.
Alternate ending. Yeah.
What about you? Did you have a favorite character?
Definitely her. And everybody did a really solid job in this, honestly. So I want to give credit to everybody. No, there was no weak links here whatsoever. No. But her character arc was insane. You touched base on that earlier, from her going from sweet innocent girl that wants to kick the habit to going through withdrawal to getting tree raped and becoming this playful, utterly terrifying demonic creature. Until then she turned into like an awesome final girl, like in the last little bit of the movie and everything. So like she really she was fantastic.
She was incredible. Absolutely. Least favorite character is fucking Eric. Everything is this guy's fault. It's the goddamn bearded white guy with the glasses. I mean, even right off the bat, when David arrives with his girlfriend, Eric's like, you should have been here 2 hours ago. Okay, Eric, fuck off. It's in the middle of the woods. And then he's the one that finds the book, literally says, leave this book alone, cuts it open, starts reading it. And he comes back after you think everything's over. He comes back because David, and I'm kind of irritated at David for this. Like, you saw everybody. They didn't just die. They were some sort of demon before they died. And it was hilarious, though, because he just like dumps him in the water. And I was like, yes, discard him just like that. He is a trash person. He is the worst. But then he ends up coming back because he didn't get killed. So, yeah, Eric is the worst. But I mean, you kind of have to have that character that does the things you're not supposed to do. I mean, that's why we're here. We're here to watch all the insanity unfold. So, what about you? Least favorite character?
The fucking nerd from the Bee Gees. He was the one that hit fucking douchebag. Like you said, there's so many warnings. Don't do this. There's a book of skin, and it's wrapped in barbed wire, and then there's blood all over it. Leave this book alone. Don't read it. Blah blah blah.
And there's Latin. Don't read the Latin. Come on.
And dude, he didn't even find the fucking. He had to go out of his way, right? He put the paper down and traced the fucking. He's like, I'll probably read that. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Yeah, no. Don't say it. Don't fucking say it. I'll fucking leave right now. Okay.
At least the first two. Terrible human being. But I do love, though, that they kind of just shit on him. Not like the group, but the movie just kind of shits on him relentlessly because he gets the scene I described as my horror moment. He gets like 400 nails in him, and then he just gets dumped in the basement. Like, goddamn. God, it was so crazy. Also, I have to mention the fact, random tangent because of the nail gun. The girl who was shooting the nails at Eric loses both of her arms, and that was fucking hilarious to me. She cuts one of them off, but then loses the other one to like a shotgun blast, and I'm like, this bitch has no fucking arms. Love it.
Another Tarantino callback when they take remember the one-eyed chick when she gets her eye plucked out in the second Kill Bill.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't see anything. And he just leaves her in there.
Love it. Did you have a favorite line? I feel like we might have the same favorite line.
Probably. You're all going to die tonight.
Oh,
Is that the
no.
same?
Mine's different.
I love that when the door whips open and she's just like, she tells him, and then that's it. It's like, that would be fucking terrifying to hear.
Oh,
especially with all the weird shit going on.
Absolutely, yeah. You're all going to die tonight. Is this my time? Is this my cue to leave? Oh, wait, I can't leave. The road's flooded. Fuck.
Yeah.
You're stuck here. No, my favorite line is, why don't you come down here so I can suck your cock, pretty boy? Fucking love it. And okay, you know what? I guess there is some comedy. I guess that would be the comedic beats, because she says some fucking hilarious shit. I also really love when Mia is the like most iconic scene, or at least still from the movies, when she's peeked up through the cellar door and she's looking at Natalie and she goes to cut her arm off. She's like, no, don't do it, you cunt. Don't do it. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
What is up with fucking demons and saying cock and cunt? And I don't get it. They're very horny, these demons. I don't understand.
Well, it's something demonic. You're not allowed to have fun or be sexual or anything like that. Say bad words.
Here's some random thoughts I had. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I will see myself out if I uncovered a rug to a cellar hatch and there was blood all over the place. Oh, you're going in you're going
Were the drag marks?
Yeah, you're going in the cellar? Bye. Yeah, there was dragging blood. Bye. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. Goodbye. So a while back when my daughter was very sick, she threw up on me like a lot. It was like exorcist amount. And that traumatized me. Yeah, it traumatized me because I had never been thrown up on before. I would literally never recover from that much vomit in my mouth. I would never be the same again. What the fuck is up with duct taping wounds in movies? I don't understand this. They do that in this movie. They do it in Green Room. They do it in another movie I can't remember. It's a very bizarre thing. I mean, I guess it works because it could stop the blood. I just think it's hilarious that like people are just duct taping.
Be an adult, use Gorilla Tape.
Yeah, that's the more obvious choice.
Flex skill.
How big is this goddamn cellar? Because it feels like it's an extra apartment down there, and a movie actually raining blood is so fucking metal. Those are my random thoughts I had. Is there anything else that did we hit everything? I feel like we did. I don't know. Is there anything else remaining, outstanding? Any asterisks we need to cover?
No, man, I think we covered this movie pretty thoroughly, honestly.
Perfect.
And presented some pretty good cases that are going to irritate some people, and they'll get over it.
I am always here for hot takes, though. That's why I included it in the show, because I realize that I just want to state this because I don't think I have stated it before. I'm not here just making up random shit to piss people off. I've realized that a lot of, just from friends that I share rankings with or whatever, that like I apparently had a lot of hot takes. So I included it just because like, yeah, that's why. If I did actually review horror movies instead of shamelessly plugging my own podcast, it would be what is it with demons and sucking dick? I feel like it's the number one thing on their mind. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, though. So that's my review.
True.
Moving on to post-review stuff here. 2 taglines. The most terrifying the most terrifying film you will ever experience, and fear what you will become. Not great, honestly. Not that great. Right off the bat, here we go. This is trivia now. According to the reports in the press, the film used 70,000 gallons of fake blood. In an interview, Fede Alvarez said they used 50,000 gallons for the final scene alone. This is compared to the 200 to 300 gallons used in the original. 70,000 gallons is crazy. Although he has a background in CGI, director Fede Alvarez chose to go with practical effects for the film's visuals, mainly out of tribute to what Sam Raimi achieved on a very limited budget in 1980. 95% of the remake was shot in chronological order, and this was done because a lot of the film takes place in a controlled environment, and the level of blood and violence gets worse and worse as the film progresses. By shooting in order, the filmmakers could throw blood on the walls and not worry about it messing up another shot where it would need to be cleaned. The film was originally rated NC-17 until it was toned down to an R rating, according to the director. He and Sam Raimi were always willing to keep the NC-17 rating since the original film was. However, the studio required that it have an R rating in order to have a wide release. Damn you.
Stupid.
Damn you, studios. This is actually something I'd never noticed, and I thought this was really fun. But if you take the first letters of the main characters, David, Eric, Mia, Olivia, and Natalie, the letters spell out demon. That's so cool.
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah.
Sure does.
That's so cool. This would be a goof, though, right? Is this not a goof? I think this is a goof. Nailers have a safety feature that prevent you from firing them unless they are pressed up against a workpiece. So using a nailer as a weapon as shown in the movie wouldn't be possible, but I don't care because it's still fucking awesome. Oh, this was the goof, though. When David tries to resuscitate Mia, he leaves the plastic bag on her head. Might want to take that off there, pal. Rated 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb, 3.4, there we go, out of 5 on Letterboxd. A pretty low 64% on the tomato meter and an equal 64% audience score. I have no question in my mind that this is a 5-star movie from you.
You are incorrect.
Oh, what
this
is
is
it?
6-star, but I can't give 6 stars. So
That's like me in Hereditary. It's like one of those movies. This is a 6 out of 5.
Yep.
All right, so 4.5 out of 5 for me. So clearly that is a Frightmare certified slap. No shock there. Similar movies according to Letterboxd. We have The Evil Dead, Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead 2, Terrifier 2, and Cabin Fever. Fuck Army of Darkness. Get right out of here. Similar movies according to IMDb. We have Evil Dead Rise, The Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and Don't Breathe. You said you couldn't find any reviews, and that's totally fine. I've got us covered. I've got 5 here. I tried to
imagine watching Army of Darkness just like randomly or just scrolling, and then you look at IMDb and they're like, Evil Dead 2013 is a similar movie, and then you watch this.
That's true. That's actually very true. Army of Darkness really is nothing like these movies.
No.
So, half star from Rayo. This movie sucked more ass than your cheating ex.
I beg to differ.
I beg very, very, much to differ. 3.5 stars from Quinny. I wish a pretty girl would spit in my mouth like that. 3 stars from Shobhan. Siobhan. Shyla? I don't know. Me as I'm getting buried alive. Are you mad at me? 3 stars from Vicente. A valuable life lesson from this is that if it can't be fixed using duct tape, then you're not using enough duct tape. And that's a fucking accurate. And last but not least, of course, we have a 5-star from Clementine. Cunt meter went off the charts. That's my favorite fucking review. Oh my goodness. If you do enjoy the show, please rate and review on your favorite podcast app of choice. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Slasher app, Blue Sky, Threads, and YouTube at Frightmare's Podcast. I clearly have no life. Our email is stayspooky@outlook. Too much time to post. Our email is stayspooky@outlook.com. You can also follow me personally on Letterboxd at Dr. Proctor. John, you are what on Letterboxd?
Lord of Beer, even though I don't drink beer anymore.
Lord of Beer. Okay. Be sure to follow our sister podcast as well, The Shameless Picture Show, and also check out the Dead-Eyed Millennial Podcast too. 2 shows I edit. Next week, Corey and I will be doing As Above, So Below from 2014. So until then, stay tuned and stay spooky.